you were not around.
That's
So
true. That's true.
that feels like 2 years.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
You missed the whole era of the bad voice, and well, it's still not perfect, but it's on its way back.
Oh,
Last week you would have teased me endlessly if you had heard me, sounding like a frog imitating John Legend.
and some way somehow the Hamatan is into. So
What is that about?
I'm just wondering.
Has somebody like messed around with the console in heaven, like the weather console, and
Mid-February
it doesn't make sense.
doesn't make sense at all.
I think they've opened the wrong fader on on the Ghana console, and Charlie.
So strange. So strange. Yeah.
We beg them, Charlie. They should reassess.
Hey, how was your weekend?
Not bad. This one was spent pretty much in bed.
Hmm.
I had this horrible cold thing that I had to get rid of, so I had to use ways and means. The whole weekend, I was in hibernation mode.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was bent on sounding better this morning, so I took no chances. I didn't go anywhere. I hardly answered my phone. I rested my voice, and this is the best I could do. Hopefully, it'll get better and
Hopefully,
better.
it will
as the
get
week
better.
goes on. Yeah,
Tough weekend as well. Christian Achu and the news. It's
horrible.
very horrible.
Well, we'll spend a bit of time on that today. What a tragedy. The worst news we wanted to the worst news we didn't
We're
want to
hoping
hear.
for some good news.
Yes. And they say it's the hope that kills you. And sometimes it's true. It didn't come as sudden news. It was something we were hoping wouldn't happen, but in the end, hope lost. And yeah. But our thoughts go out to his family today. They're certainly not having a great time.
Oh, the Bible says, teach us to number our days. And so, yeah, I guess everybody has to. Speak of numbering our days, I hear school placement.
Look, here's what I don't understand. And first of all, let's hear what some of the parents, affected have been saying.
She was given Suhum Presby High, which I think that with aggregate 9, she deserves something better than C school.
My word was not placed at all.
We only came to change the residency. I wanted boarding, but I was given a day.
You see, and this, it permeates the whole system. This is what I don't understand. Half of the people who use the system were not placed. They didn't even get placed at all.
Computerized system.
Yes. The system did not place them. So, and the suggestion is that they all did something wrong, right?
Wow.
That's why I didn't place them. But there were others who were placed in schools they didn't even choose, right? Not their first choice, not their second, not their third choice. But the system said, that's where you're going. So if the system is able to place you,
Yeah.
even if, let's assume that you did everything wrong, the system can still place you somewhere.
Yeah.
So why did half of them not get placed?
It beats me.
And then it's so strange. Chas is also suggesting that perhaps WAEC is not making use of the 30% aspect of the grade that comes from the schools. Maybe that is not really featuring much in the final result that is published. I don't know whether that is true. But if it is, then that's another question that needs to be answered. Are these people really getting the grades that are sending them to the schools?
Yeah.
And why would you send a child, to a school that is 100 miles away from their home and make them a day student? There's nothing in the system to prevent that.
I thought this system was supposed to make the placement process less chaotic.
You see, if you
but it's just complicating matters.
Well, if you call it automated and it's not automated, that's what happens.
Ah.
Look at all the human interference. We've done a documentary about it.
Yeah.
When even the cleaner can place someone, the cleaner at Nat Hall can place someone in the system.
Wow.
Then how is it automated?
It's terrible.
Charlie. Anyway, listen, we have a purpose this morning. We are grateful to Total Energies. Total, we go the extra mile for you. And Absa Bank Ghana Limited, helping you find a way to get things done. We're grateful to them for bringing us the 6 a.m. bulletin. Also, Millennium Insurance, your trustworthy partner, brought us that bulletin. And for the Joy Business Report, let's give thanks to Glyco Life Travel Insurance. Glyco, we cushion you for life. Now, however safe travel may seem, risks of all sorts, including ill health, physical security, accidents, and national disasters remain unpredictable, with consequences that could be dire. Glyco Life Travel Insurance protects you from that when it gives you medical and emergency assistance if you fall ill, including COVID cover, personal 24-hour assistance, replacement for lost baggage, passport, driving license, ID card, and even any other consular document. Plus, cover for personal accident, personal liability, compensation for trip cancellation or curtailment, as well as losses and delays that last over 4 hours. Call Glyco Life on 0302 218 500 or 020 2222 113. That's a WhatsApp number as well. For a travel insurance policy that best suits your needs and an enjoyable travel in absolute peace of mind, Glyco, we cushion you for life.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up this morning, Managing Director of IMF assess Ghana will secure international capital market access after reaching a deal with all creditors on debt restructuring. Also, financial economist Professor John Gachi warns Finance Minister to make public the actual debt figures that were considered under the domestic debt exchange program to avoid being impacted with the negotiations with the IMF. Also, government's treasury bill significantly oversubscribed by 82% at slightly reduced yield following the successful completion of the domestic debt exchange program. We'll tell you all about it coming up. Stay tuned. My name is Daryl. Kwawu. Thanks for being with us this morning. Ghana will have access to the international capital market after it reaches a deal with all its creditors on the debt exchange program. That's a session by the Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva. There's more in the following report.
The projection by the IMF Managing Director, Kristalina Georgieva, is coming at a time that government has reached a deal with the local bondholders on the domestic debt exchange program. It is now expected to open a new chapter on reaching a deal with the external creditors, those that are holding Ghana's Eurobonds. The IMF Managing Director, during a recent working visit to Africa, at a media engagement with journalists, noted that once a resolution is reached on this debt exchange program, the country will be able to regain access to the international market, based on what she describes as a sound debt management strategy. Her optimism is coming at a time when all the major credit rating agencies have downgraded Ghana into a junk status when it comes to its credit worthiness, with some projecting that it could take about 4 years for Ghana to get access to the international market. Well, it appears the IMF boss thinks otherwise when it comes to Ghana's situation. Meanwhile, in a recent tweet, the IMF Managing Director, Kristalina Georgieva, has noted that she is excited about the progress made by Ghanaian authorities in bringing the staff-level agreement to the IMF board for approval. She adds that the fund will continue to support Ghana's efforts in stabilizing the economy.
Georgia Fist starting us off with that report this morning. So, financial economist Professor John Gachi has urged the Finance Minister to make public the actual debt figures that were considered under the domestic debt exchange program. Government has come under criticism after the total figure under the program was revised from 137 billion cedis to 97 billion cedis, enabling government to achieve over 80% of the target set for the program. Now, speaking to Joy Business, Professor Gachi said the controversy surrounding the figures could negatively affect the negotiation with the International Monetary Fund.
They may not go by the figures, so that will create a problem for us. The finance minister will have to be clear, and the documentation that they make to IMF, I'm not sure they are going to make that document public, so that will also go through scrutiny. So we are having some problem with data accuracy and whether or not there have been some manipulation of the data. We have heard that some of the bondholders have had the opportunity to convert their bond into treasury bills. So all these are issues that need attention from the finance ministry and those who are working on the program.
Economist Professor John Gachi there. So still domestic debt exchange related. Following the successful completion of the program last week, government's treasury bill sale was significantly oversubscribed by 82% to the tune of 10 billion cedis. Also, interest costs fell marginally, but still within the 35% range. Here's more.
Since the treasury market has become the only source of financing for government, investors are increasing their interest in the short-term securities. According to the auction result published by the Bank of Ghana, the 91-day T-bill was hugely patronized with an uptake of about 2.32 billion cedis. A little over 2.51 billion cedis was, however, tendered by the investors, largely banks. For the 182-day T-bill, about 595 million cedis was tendered, but the government accepted a little over 435 million cedis. Meanwhile, interest rates on the yield curve fell marginally, though remained high. While the 91-day T-bill retreated to 35.66%, that of the 182-day bill went for 35.71%.
Well, in other news this morning, Ghana has started receiving the second consignment of petroleum products under the Gold for Oil program. Some of the products came in over the weekend, with the rest expected to be spread over the next weeks. Now, Edwin Provençal is the managing director of the Bulk Oil Storage and Transportation Company. He has been explaining to Joy Business how this could impact on prices at the pumps.
Incoming cargoes for February, we are expecting a total of 152,000 metric tons, made up of 80,000 gas oil and then 72,000 gasoline. So they will start coming in from the 19th, which is till the end of the month. I can tell you on authority that we've had demand orders from 18 bulk distribution companies, totaling almost 140,000 metric tons. I am sure you have seen that since the first cargo came in till date, oil has reduced their prices from almost 15.75 to almost 14.90 for diesel. And that should tell you that going forward, Ghanaians who are not in a good place today will have some respite with respect to the reduction of energy prices with its attendant benefit on the inflation.
Edwin Provençal there, Managing Director of the Bulk Oil Storage and Transportation Company. The Minister of Works and Housing, Francis Assenso-Boakye, has indicated that government is expediting the processes to establish the Ghana Housing Authority. This, he says, will have the mandate to regulate, plan and manage housing in Ghana in collaboration with private sector developers. He was speaking at Sukasa Properties' unveiling of his Ogwanse No. 1 community at East Legon Hills.
My ministry is presently focused, among other things, on the review and the enactment of legislations and addressing institutional gaps to create the appropriate platform for best practices within the industry. For this reason, the Ministry of Works and Housing has initiated the process to establish Ghana Housing Authority.
You have there Francis Assenso-Boakye, Minister of Works and Housing. Ghana has experienced a change in transportation dynamics whilst building a viable environment for more investments into the sector. This is a session by ride-hailing services Yango. According to his country manager, Philip Oforienum, the country has seen an improvement in technological drive, making it more lucrative for ride-hailing and technology-driven services to be established. He spoke with Joy Business.
Historically, there used to be the traditional system. I hail a taxi, I go to a bus stop or something, get a bus. But we get to see that since the ride-hailing apps came into the space, the users, behavior has changed. We serve a need, we bring convenience, and so it gets better. We're talking about AI now, we're talking about self-driving vehicles and all that. So primarily things are going to change. The functions we perform are going to change dynamically. We're going to see electric vehicles in our market, so many other things. So there'll be more technology coming in and things will even improve more. So the future definitely, you can't even begin to imagine it, but it's huge. So transportation definitely is changing and will continue to change to the benefit of society and everyone at large.
Philip Oforienum there, country manager for ride-hailing services Yango. Let's turn to the stock market this morning. The Ghana Stock Exchange may record more laggers than gainers this week. Let's hear from Grace Monoyom of Data Bank Research.
Last week, the stock market closed positively due to gains in three equities. Total Energies clawed back 44 pesos to close the week at 4 cedis 57 pesos. Unilever Ghana gained 20 pesos to close at 2 cedis 26 pesos, while MTN Ghana improved by 2 pesos to end the week at 90 pesos. Conversely, Guinness Ghana and Access Bank closed as the week's laggards, shedding 18 pesos and a peso respectively. As a result, the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index increased by 1% week on week to a year-to-date loss of 1.21%. This week, we expect declines in the prices of Ecobank Ghana and Societe Generale as investors offer quotes below market prices. For Joy Business Report, Grace Monanyun of Databank Research.
And before we go, let's bring you the market updates this morning. Let's start with the commodity market. Crude oil open trading at $83 a barrel. The precious metal gold going for $1,842 an ounce. After losing marginally, cocoa, however, gained $24 selling this morning at $2,771 a ton. On the currency market, the dollar going for 12 cedis 70 pesos, the pound going for 15 cedis 20 pesos, and the euro selling at 13 cedis 40 pesos. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl. Kwawu. Thanks for listening. It's back to Kujiangse with more of the Super Morning Show.
Back to me.
All the best with your voice this morning.
Thank you.
Try not to talk a lot if you can.
Imagine. How am I going to pull that off?
I'll get some hot tea or coffee.
Yeah. We'll do what we
I'll
can.
be praying for you.
Oh, thank you. Then I know I'm healed. As for you, your prayers, they are fast tracked in heaven. You are on the business class list in heaven, so they move you quickly. Some of us are on the waiting list. Anyway. Mbura has picked one for us.
Okay.
How brave are you feeling?
I'm confident in him.
Yeah. It's a good one, actually. I don't know if you are familiar